Good. It's been fun so far. It's been nice, having him around. Been a good first 2 days for us. Obviously camp's a little bit different than the OTAs, a little bit higher intensity, a little more, team periods, things like that, where you get to play a little bit closer and closer to real football. So, been a good 2 days, and I think Russ has operated well.
What has he added to this offense this year that maybe you guys were missing the last couple of years?
Probably just some clarity. He's been playing football for a long time, so he knows what's worked for him in his career. He knows what he likes, what he doesn't like, and that makes it really simple on all of us just be able to get on the same page as him.
Any sort of transition going back to Kafka calling plays for you guys? What's that like generally?
It's different. They're different people, different personalities, but at the same time, not much verbiage-wise has changed. But obviously, different people, different personalities. But he called it my first year here, so for me, it's not really that big of a difference. But I think he's done a good job. I like Caf. I think he's called it well these first 2 days, and obviously, as we continue to grow, we have a full new quarterback room, all three guys, and then him. So I think we'll just continue to grow and get better as time goes.
You and Dex are the longest survivors here now that Daniel's not here.
Survivors? Make it sound like we went to Afghanistan or something.
Well, like a reality show.
Yeah.
It's been a reality show here at times.
Sure.
Does it feel like it to you? Does it feel like when you look around and it's like, okay, I came in with him and nobody else?
Yeah, it is. It is kind of crazy. Sometimes I forget about it until somebody brings it up like you just did. But obviously, I've been blessed. Dex has been blessed to be Giants our entire career. This is a great organization to play for, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to perform in a way that'll keep us here.
Is it hard to? I mean, neither of you guys are 30.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say you're the oldest. You've just been here a little bit. So
yeah.
Old guys usually get here longer. You guys are like prime of your career guys. What do you think it took for you and him, I guess, to stick around? Or just you?
Yeah, for Dex, he just kind of was born that way. Bigger, stronger, faster. I was born faster, not quite bigger and stronger, but just consistency. I think regardless of the coaches we've had here, regardless of the systems we've had here, I've been pretty consistent my whole career. I've been able to play good football regardless of who's been here, and that's kind of what I pride myself on and what I'll continue to pride myself on.
Do you think because of your longevity here that it would mean more to you if the team doesn't turn around? Everyone wants to win.
Yeah.
But nobody else has been invested in this team. Do you think it would mean more?
Yeah, for sure. When we get it turned around and when we get this thing going in the right direction, I think it'll for me specifically, it's been a good 6 years, been a long 6 years, but I've looked forward to every year, and obviously, I don't want to see any team in this league succeed more than I want to see the Giants. So obviously, my whole career has been invested here. Most of my adult life has been invested in New Jersey and New York area. So, it'll be huge, for me to be able to win here in my time as a Giant.
Can you start to see, 2 days into camp, can you start to see what you hope develops on offense, or is it too soon?
Yeah, you see flashes. Like Wandale made a play down the field. That was kind of a situational period yesterday. Malik made a couple plays on the field. So you see the flashes kind of early on. It's we're in the red zone, the high red, so we literally haven't even gotten to the full field yet. But you kind of see flashes of plays being made, and that's why I say I think the first 2 days we've done a pretty solid job so far. But you definitely see flashes.
What do you think this offense can be when you look at it? What do you envision?
Multifaceted. I think we have quarterbacks that do a good job of pushing the ball down the field, being aggressive, and then we have people that are aggressive playmakers, people that go get the football, people that can create with the ball in their hands. Obviously, we have the backs, Tracy, Motor, and now we have Scat back there. So I think we have three really solid backs, and we got some talent in the tight end room as well with Theo and Fedoni and some of the other guys. So I think we have a very well-rounded group.
Your longevity with the team, do you find yourself being in a position where Buss and Jameis, the veterans, are counting on you, learning things from you, helping them along?
Yeah, for sure. They've played more football than me, but they haven't played more Giant football than me. So that's kind of my unique perspective, and something that I help them understand. Maybe it's a guy that was been here in the past that it's new to them, but I've played with them for the last 2 years, their career, whatever it might be. You know, just trying to help bridge those gaps and help them in any way I can.
Can you give any traffic solutions after your 6 years here, or there are no solutions to that, I guess, right?
There is no solutions. 17 be torched, everything be torched except the turnpike, honestly. Except at night, in the morning, turnpike's about the only thing open. But other than that, you're pretty much stuck.
So far, how's camp going there?
Camp's going great. Second day out, it's getting hot, but it's a lot of work, a lot of fun.
Any sense kind of what this pass rush look like? What to do a little bit, or too soon to say?
It's exciting. You know, we're rushing, we're doing different things, moving them around, so I'm excited to see what it'll be.
What do you see from him? Like, what are your first impressions? You've been with him a few months here now on the field.
He's a hard worker, he's fast, he's twitchy, he can play it all.
How are you feeling about yourself coming in this year?
Super excited, I'm in shape, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go.
You posted some things about doing all sorts of aggressive things, getting ready for camp, you know, and things like that. Have you done anything differently? Are you in different kind of physical shape?
No, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I'm in normal shape that I've been. I probably dropped a few pounds to be a little faster, focus more on speed. I've been working out. It's been good. It's been good.
It does seem like one of your goals this offseason, tell me if I'm wrong, is finishing. And if so, why? You know, why did you?
You've been listening. Nice. Definitely one of my goals is to finish. Like I said before, I had 5.5 sacks last season. I had 5 half sacks, which equates to 2.5, and probably would have been, you guys can do the math, maybe 7 or 8 if I would have finished those. So just making sure that I get everything I deserve this year.
How do you do that? Like, how do you work on finishing?
Well, you know, we don't get to practice. We don't get to practice tackling, you know, preseason. So until you actually, especially, you know, on the quarterbacks, until you actually get in the game, that's the only time we actually get to replicate, you know, sacking the quarterback. So just doing it, as you mentioned before, I've been wrestling a little bit, taking some guys to the ground. I've been, you know, on bags and stuff, working on my tackling earlier in the season.
You saw one of those clips with like wrestling, I think it was, what you were doing?
That's what I said, yep.
What got you into that? Why that?
Because wrestling is another form of tackling, so I just wanted to, you know, make sure that I can use some techniques from wrestling into football.
Was that always something you were interested in, or who got you interested in?
No, just kind of looking at it and doing the things myself and kind of looking into it.
Everything you deserve, is that just finishing the sack, or is there something you're looking for wise?
Well, I mean, that's just finishing sacks, you know. You're just finishing plays and putting yourself in position to, you know, be the best.
Tyler, can you talk about how you and Kayvon complement each other?
Yeah, I think we definitely got a lot of similar skill sets. Things that, you know, he does, you know, are things that I like to emulate as well, you know, in the run game, being able to play deep in the half, being able to play in the post. So he's a very versatile player, and he's a guy that I looked at a lot when I was in college, you know, coming into the league. So definitely a lot of respect for him there in that aspect. So yeah, definitely we could do a lot.
So like, I mean, he's obviously a veteran now, so
yeah.
like learning from him.
Yeah, definitely, man. I learn from Bond every day, man. So something new every day. He's got a lot of knowledge of the game just because he's played so much, he's seen so much. So I just try to soak in as much as I can.
Is it interesting to kind of watch a player when you were in college to be a teammate with him? What's that kind of like? To just be like, oh, now I'm teammates with the guy that I've really admired and studied.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's real cool. Like I said, I was studying him a lot in college because, you know, I admire his game. I think we have a lot of similar traits. You know, we're both bigger guys. We can both come up and tackle. We can both, you know, cover. We can both play in the half. You know, do a lot of versatile things. So it's awesome to be able to, you know, get a chance to play with him and learn with him.
How do you assess your rookie year? What do you want to do in year 2?
I mean, rookie year, it was a lot of learning, man. A lot of new experiences for me. But I'm glad I got them because, you know, all those experiences now I can, you know, put in my tool belt, you know, my Rolodex of, you know, things that, you know, I can use to help myself be successful in the future. And this year, you know, I'm really just focused on, you know, just getting better, just getting better every single day, and, you know, becoming a leader and leading by example. That's really what I want to do.
I feel like I drew out there with you last year, 2 rookies kind of
Yeah.
hanging out there pretty much all the time.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, me and Drew got a really tight connection, especially playing so much last year with each other. And, you know, we're only going to continue to grow that.
What do you feel like? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, change your number. Just kind of what's the story behind that? We know it's for a family member. What's
Yeah.
trying to change it?
Man, I've been wearing 27 my whole life. My dad and his two brothers actually, they all went to 3 separate colleges a freshman year. Ended up wearing 27, just out of the blue. So that was kind of a family member for them, or a family number for them at first. But then my uncle, he played at University of Michigan, Steve King. He ended up passing away in 2014, and ever since then I told myself, I'm definitely going to keep this number, keep this legacy going, for him and for the family. So it was super special to be able to change back and get back in this number for sure.
What does he mean to you personally, just as far as just your uncle? I mean, what do you mean just as a person, player, nephew?
Everything, man. He lived in Chicago. He lived downtown Chicago. So I grew up, obviously in Illinois. So he was at every big football game I ever had. One of my first, memories with him is playing football, throwing the football by the beach in the city. Doing things like that. Taking us around the city, and he meant a lot to us, man. He meant a lot to the whole family, and that's why I try to honor him with this number.
What do you feel like Thibodeaux has added to this secondary this season?
A lot, man. He's real smart, bro. He's a super smart football player, real technical. He's a pro. So I think he's just another example for guys to look at. Somebody that's really doing it the right way. Everybody can follow in his lead and follow in his footsteps.
And then he's kind of, maybe some of you guys, I know he's been really sort of high top down at the leaderboard in passes defended the last couple of years. Is anything from his technique or anything you guys have taken from him early on here?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think all the corners are learning from him, bro. He's a guy that's not afraid to talk and let like what he's thinking, his techniques and things that he likes to work on. So I think the corners are doing a really great job, just working with him and allowing that to happen.
You guys have a D-line and a pass rush like you guys have. What does it do for a secondary when you have guys who are that dominant?
Man, it makes our job a lot easier, definitely. We know the ball's got to come out. We got Kayvon, we got Burns, we got Abdul, guys that can really get after the quarterback. The quarterback knows that. So, his clock is going to be sped up already because he knows that those guys are coming. So that just gives us, extra confidence to be able to go get it.
How would you talked about the rookie year, but after you got hurt, it was kind of tough seeing your rookie year and not the way you wanted to, just that injury?
Yeah, definitely, man. It sucks being injured at any time. I love this game, and anytime that I can't play, it sucks. But I think it gave me a chance to really step back, focus on my body, get a lot of things better that were aching and bugging me during the season. So this year, I'm definitely back to 100.